If you've ever had the experience of feeling great, being in the zone, focused, really making things happen, and then you lost it, it was gone, you went into maybe feeling less than your best and you're not exactly sure what happened, then this video is for you, and I'm glad you're here because I'm going to share 3 steps to guard and maintain your emotional energy. And if this video is valuable for you, then give it a like and subscribe so you can get each of our videos. Now, if you've had periods in your life that you've been really dialed in, you've been motivated and focused and happy and energized and fulfilled, and then you went from having those amazing feelings to maybe feeling lost or unmotivated or distracted or unhappy, lethargic, or unfulfilled, then this video will give you insights on why that may be happening and how you can prevent it from happening in the future. Because in many cases, we're not fully aware of where the energy drains are coming from. A couple of weeks ago, a friend reached out and he shared that he was experiencing a big drop in his energy, and he had really been dialed in and he had been showing up as his best self following a retreat that he had done several months earlier. And this wasn't one of those rah-rah motivational or spa retreats. This was 8 days in a South American jungle with a shaman doing deep work, seeing things about himself that isn't always easy to see. And he had some real breakthroughs. And he had gone there wanting to be a better husband, a better father, a more impactful and better entrepreneur. And that's exactly what happened. And when he returned home, his wife, his friends, his business partner saw that he was an improved version of himself. He was more patient. He was more present. He was more thoughtful, more insightful, more confident. And he was having a much more larger and bigger impact on his clients in the world. And he was truly living and feeling like the very best version of himself. And then, without warning, it began to change. And when he reached out to me, he shared how the previous 2 weeks he had felt himself slipping back into his old self. His old worries, his old insecurities, his old responses had crept back in. And he was puzzled and frustrated because he had been doing his daily spiritual work. He had been staying faithful to his commitments, but something had changed. And I asked some questions and discovered that what had been different over this time was he had spent a week with his and his wife's family over the holidays. And when I asked him to describe them, their emotions, their conversations, their interactions, what had happened became clear. Now, think about this. If you were dropped into a stadium with an exciting game being played and an energized crowd and just a lot of excitement, what impact would it have on how you feel? If you were dropped into an amazing venue with an incredible concert and beautiful music being played, what impact would it have on how you feel? If you were dropped into a hospital room with a family gathered around the bed of a loved one that had just been in a terrible accident and only had moments to live, what impact would it have on how you feel? Almost all of us feel the energy in our environment because we are energetic beings. We feel the energy of the people around us. And we know this to be true, but it isn't really on our radar screens to guard and protect the impact it has on us. And the way this usually plays out is we not only feel the energy, but we also absorb the energy. And look, part of the human experience is to be affected by the energy of others. It's required for empathy. It's required for compassion and generosity. Being affected by the energy of others is how we share in joy, celebration, cooperation. It can be good to be affected by the energy of others. It can be bad, however, to be infected by the energy of others. Being affected by the energy of others is how we give and receive. Being infected by the energy of others is how we lose our forward momentum. And my friend and I discussed this, and he recognized that he had allowed the energy of others to infect him. He became aware that he had taken in the toxins of scarcity and the toxins of lack. And the toxins of scarcity and lack can quickly grow and spread, and they will infect and weaken our happiness, confidence, motivation. The good news, however, exposure doesn't have to cause infection. We can be around it, but not harmed by it. In fact, when we learn how to be around it and not catch it, then we build up our immunity and we become stronger. And so there's 3 steps to avoid being infected by the energy of others. And step 1 is recognize. Recognize what's happening. Recognize that you're feeling the energy of others. Recognize that this is coming from the environment. Recognize you're not broken and there's nothing wrong with you. Recognize you have immunity. Without recognition, what tends to happen is we don't know what's going on. We just realize we're not feeling our best. So maybe we worry that something might be wrong with us. Maybe we worry that we might be slipping back to an old version of ourselves. Maybe we worry that old harmful feelings might return. Maybe we've lost our edge. Maybe we don't deserve to feel amazing. Maybe we don't deserve love and happiness and abundance. Without recognition, we tend to surrender to fear, and fear is highly toxic. So if you've ever had this happen, you can look at it like this. If you walk out of an air-conditioned home on a really hot day and a few minutes later you're sweating, you wouldn't think that you're sick, you've got a fever, and that you're coming down with something. So if you're around people that are vibrating at lower frequencies and you start feeling off, recognize that you're just picking up on the energy of others. It doesn't mean that you're coming down with something that you're slipping backwards. Recognize what's happening and know that you have immunity. Step 2, detach. When we recognize what's happening, then we can become the observer. And when we become the observer, then we can witness the feelings. When we witness the feelings, then we can detach from the feelings. And when we detach from the feelings, then we avoid being infected by the feelings. Step 3, pray. When we recognize and observe what's happening and we're detached and not infected by the feelings, then pray and send positive energy. Pray for the healing of those around you. Pray for the uplifting of those around you. Pray prayers of gratitude for having the blessings of recognition and detachment. Say prayers of gratitude for the blessings in your life. Say prayers of gratitude for the happiness, the confidence, joy, and motivation that you're blessed with. These types of prayers are they're a line of defense against the feelings you don't want, and they nurture and grow the feelings you do want. Plus, if you believe in prayer, then you know that this does have a positive impact on those around you. And if you don't believe in prayer, then look into the observer effect and entanglement from quantum physics, and the impact is the same. Here's the point. Through the power of prayer, instead of being infected by the energy of others, we can positively affect our energy and the energy of others. So 3 steps to guard and maintain your emotional energy. 1, recognize what's happening. 2, detach from the feelings you don't want. 3, pray for those around you and for the blessings you have. When we follow these 3 steps, what begins to happen is we strengthen our ability to maintain high levels of emotional stability because we're avoiding the swings. We're avoiding the emotional valleys that would otherwise happen. And by avoiding these valleys, we're creating stronger neural pathways with the feelings we want because we're feeling the way we want more consistently. In other words, we're firing and wiring the neural pathways associated with the feelings we want, and it becomes easier to avoid the feelings we don't want. And what happens over time is it becomes easier and easier to stay grounded in the face of adversity. So you're becoming a bigger, better, stronger version of your best self, which means you continue growing and succeeding and enjoying a more confident, impactful, and balanced life, personally and professionally. So thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. I'd love to know what your biggest takeaway is. So please share that in the comments below and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss our upcoming videos. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one.